We're rich.
I mean, the yogurt's still on the list.
Yeah, that's not going away. I'm 39 years old, typing this out in the Notes app on my phone while my wife is asleep down the hall, and the house is quiet in that specific way it gets after 11 when all 4 kids are finally down. No college degree. Started in a warehouse at 22, moved into scheduling, then logistics, coordination, then ops management, then a director title that came without a real explanation of what changed other than the number on my offer letter. My wife, she's 38, stepped away from her own career about 8 years ago when our second kid came and the childcare math stopped working. We've been fine. Not comfortable exactly, but fine. The kind of fine where you know exactly how much is in checking before you open the app. So this past fall, I got recruited. Someone I'd worked with years ago moved into a VP role at a mid-size company and apparently mentioned my name in a conversation I wasn't in. A recruiter reached out on LinkedIn. I responded because I always respond, not because I was serious. And then the conversations kept going and the role kept sounding more real. And then there was a panel interview, and then a final round, and then one Tuesday afternoon in October, I was sitting at my desk at work when an email came in with a PDF attached, and the subject line was just "Offer Confidential." And I opened it on my laptop, and then I closed it, and then I opened it again, and then I printed it. I'm just going to look at it again real quick. Okay. It's the same number every time I look at it. I don't know what I was expecting it to say instead. All right. I printed it at the office printer down the hall. I don't know why I did that instead of waiting until I got home. The toner smell was still on it when I folded it in half and put it in the inside pocket of my jacket, which is not something I've ever done with a document before in my life. 2 $10,000 base. Bonus target of $100,000. RSU vesting over 4 years. Relocation package. Sign on. The numbers were sitting there in that clean HR font that makes everything look like it was designed specifically to seem normal, and none of it looked normal. I drove home with that paper in my jacket pocket, and I didn't call anyone. I didn't call my wife. I didn't call my brother. I drove home and the radio was on, and I don't remember what was playing. Hey.
Hey, can you grab did you eat already?
No, not yet.
There's leftover rice if you want it.
Yeah, maybe in a minute.
Long day?
Kind of, yeah. When I got home, she was in the kitchen, and there was a grocery list on the counter written in blue ballpoint pen, her handwriting, the kind of list where she writes yogurt, and then crosses it out and writes it again lower down because she forgot she'd already written it. I put my jacket over the chair. I don't know exactly when the paper came out of the pocket and ended up on the counter. I think I set the jacket down and it slid out, or maybe I put it down deliberately and told myself it was an accident. Either way, by the time I came back downstairs from changing, the offer letter was sitting face up on the laminate counter next to the grocery list, and she was standing there reading it. We're rich.
I mean, the yogurt's still on the list.
Yeah, that's not going away.
Did you tell your brother yet?
No, nobody.
Okay.
What she said first wasn't about the money. She asked where the company was located because she hadn't heard me mention a city. I told her. She nodded. She looked back down at the paper. She asked if this was the thing I'd been interviewing for, and I said yes. And she said she didn't realize it had gotten this far, and I said it moved faster than I expected, which was true and also not the whole truth. The kids were in the other room. Someone was asking someone else to stop touching something. The paper sat there on the counter between us. So HR sent over some kind of referral thing?
For what?
A financial advisor. It's through the company. Apparently they do this.
Do we have to use them?
No, it's just a referral. I'm just going to do a call and see what they say.
Okay, just let me know when.
Yeah, I will. A few days after that, HR sent over an onboarding packet with a referral to a financial advisor. One of those arrangements where the employer has a relationship with a firm and they pass the name along during major hire onboarding. CFP designation specializes in executive compensation transitions, which is a phrase I had to read twice because I had never been the kind of person those words were written for. I set up a video call. My wife didn't know about it yet. Not because I was hiding it, I told myself, but because I wanted to understand what I was looking at before I had to explain it to someone else. That's what I told myself. The call was on a Thursday morning while she had taken two of the kids to the pediatrician and the other two were at school. I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop open and my phone next to it with the offer letter pulled up. The advisor was professional, calm, the kind of calm that comes from having this specific conversation many times before. He pulled up a screen share and started building out what he called a compensation map, which meant he was the first person, outside of the company's HR department, to see the full picture of what this offer actually looked like. He saw it before my wife and I had ever sat down and talked through it together. I noticed that while he was talking. I didn't say anything about it, but I noticed it. The financial advisor sent a follow-up email with a proposed planning framework and a phrase in it I'd never seen applied to me, given the concentration risk in the RSU component. I read it to my wife. She asked what concentration risk meant. I explained it as best I could. She listened. And then she went back to the spreadsheet she'd been building, her own, not mine, one I hadn't seen until she turned the laptop toward me. And I saw that she'd been tracking a different set of numbers entirely, ones I hadn't thought to calculate. The house is listed. The offer is signed. The 60-day window is moving. She turned the laptop back toward herself and kept typing.